Welcome to Community Talk, a public affairs presentation of the MSA United Way and Super Talk 1270. Now your host, Jena Gullo.
Good morning. Welcome to United Way's Community Talk. I'm your host and MSA United Way Executive Director, Jena Gullo, and co-hosting with me this morning is Amber Jensen.
Good morning.
How are you, Amber?
Good.
Amber, I miss you. I've been away. I went home for a little bit here.
Luckily, the office is still intact.
Well, I entrust it with you. Thank you for holding down the ship. We have some exciting things coming up on the show today, and one of them is to talk more about Day of Caring.
Yeah, we'll have lots of good updates for you later in the show.
Yes, we will be welcoming our guest, Kris Kleinjan. Gosh, I should know her. I talk to her all the time. They did a fantastic golf tournament for us through American Family Insurance, and she's also been a team captain for our Day of Caring.
Yeah, she's one of our outstanding volunteers.
Yeah, one of the many.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, on August 13th, we hope to have more than 1,000 volunteers taking on over 50 different community projects.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a fun day, and I can't wait to get everybody together, helping out those in need in the Bismarck-Mandan community. It's just going to be a great experience for everybody.
That's our 15th annual Day of Caring. Pretty impressive. We had some of our board members actually start it. Ann Reich and her husband with Amy Jo Johnson at the time. So it's pretty neat to see how far we've come in the last 15 years and how many people we've helped through that program and how many dollars we've saved.
Yeah, last year alone, it was about $150,000.
That's
we saved.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
But first, we'll be discussing a great program that prepares children for school. And at our United Way, we understand the importance of education. And so one of our big focuses is being proactive in the community and helping to prepare kids for school. So we're ensuring they have a strong foundation to be successful, not just educationally, but, academically, but also in life later. So one program that plays an important role in preparing children for success is the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. And just last year, our Imagination Library sent more than 35,000 books to children in our community.
Wow.
Pretty exciting. Amazing. So our first guest, I am very honored to have her in studio with us today. She is a longtime advocate of education, of children, of volunteerism. We are so excited. I welcome you, North Dakota First Lady Betsy Dalrymple.
Well, thank you, Jena. I'm glad to be here with you and Amber this morning.
Isn't this kind of fun? Super Talk 1270 gives us this hour to really highlight community programs and good people and advocates. And so the Dolly Parton Imagination Library is something you've been working on for a number of years.
It has. When I first became First Lady, I had a lot of people give me some great ideas of different things that I could do. And I thought I really had to go back to my passions in life, so which are education and volunteerism. So it became apparent to me early on through the advice of Representative Kathy Hawken. She's the state representative from Fargo, and from Mark Bernston, who is a music teacher at West Fargo. They both contacted me and said, Betsy, you need to look at this Dolly Parton Imagination Library. We think it's right up your alley. And I thought, I will. I'll look at it. And I was sold right away that it's a great program for communities to support reading, which is also a lifetime passion of mine.
So for our listeners out there, talk to us about what is the Dolly Parton Imagination Library.
If your community chooses to support this program, which Missouri Slope has been a great advocate of it for a number of years, it will supply a book to children ages 0 to 5, goes directly to them, to their household, for the cost of $25 a year. And all of us realize you cannot buy 12 books for $25. And that was, and I still think is the main selling point of this program to even new communities, is that it's a great way to get books directly to children and to incite the love of learning and love of reading.
Yeah, and so why is this program so important? Because people will say, well, we have public libraries, and locally we have a great library system. So what's your response to that?
Well, my response to that comment is this is a gift that comes in the mail. And the parents that I've talked to who get who have children who receive these books say once their children are old enough, they're anxious to get the next book in the mail directly to them. It has their name on the back of it. And when you get a new gift, you want to play with it or you want to do it. And we know through experience, anecdotal comments from parents, children want that book read over and over and over again until the parents have memorized it, and some of the older kids have memorized it. And so what better way to say, this is a great thing that you can be doing. Turn off all the electronics and have some quiet time with mom and dad and read a book.
Well, and how valuable is that? I think we take it for granted if we grew up that way, having that quality time that you spend with your parents. But it takes effort from that parent to make sure that they're doing it in a really healthy and productive way, and that it's so much easier to just have the child play on the computer by himself or watch TV, but to spend that quality time reading together, it really has lasting effects for that child.
Well, and there's been a lot of research, Jena, too, on the effect of not only and we have access to it if anyone out there wants to read some of the statistical studies that have been done on Imagination Library and how it helps prepare children better for kindergarten, better for reading. And there are also nationwide or international studies, too, on third grade reading levels. If a child is not reading up to third grade, to their level by third grade, they are losing a lot. I mean, they are not ready. Up to grade 3, you learn to read. After grade 3, you read to learn. And that really is a powerful statement.
That is so true. And you were an educator in the past. You were a teacher.
I was. When Jack and I were first married, I was a kindergarten and first and second grade teacher in Fargo.
And so you really do know the value of kids being prepared and the important time frame from, kindergarten to the third grade, and how that I had heard it, let me know if this is true, that children who aren't prepared for reading by the fourth grade are less likely to graduate from high school.
Yes, it's actually third grade or fourth grade, if you want to say. Yes, they have statistical studies showing that if you're not reading well by third grade, that you're less likely to graduate from high school. And they also, unfortunately, determine the number of prison cells sometimes on third grade reading levels. That is very scary.
So this is a very cost-effective program for our community as well.
It is a very cost-effective program, and I look forward to have the whole state having an Imagination Library at some point.
Well, that's part of one of your initiatives as the First Lady of North Dakota, and we want to hear more about what you're doing to bring this great program across the state of North Dakota and make sure every child has access to a book. We will be back in just a couple minutes. You are listening to United Way's Community Talk. I'm Jena Gullo, your host, and we'll be back in just a couple.
Sean Hannity, weekdays at 2, only on Super Talk 1270.
Welcome back to United Way's Community Talk. My name is Jena Gullo, the Missouri Slope Area-Wide Executive Director, and your host today. Co-hosting with me is Ms. Amber Jensen from MSA United Way.
Thank you.
Nice having you here,
Yes.
Amber. But we have a fantastic guest in studio. We're very honored to have North Dakota First Lady Betsy Dalrymple to the program and in studio with us, talking about one of her statewide initiatives, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. So tell us, Betsy, how did this program begin?
Well, when I do my presentations, I always say, all right, everybody, you all have a visual picture of Dolly Parton, and there's usually quite a pause and a few chuckles. But what I really wanted to tell everyone is that Dolly Parton has a heart of gold. And she started this program in her home county in Tennessee because she realized the literacy rate was high. And so she provided a free book for any child 0 to 5 who signed up for the program. Now that program has expanded across the United States, Australia, Canada, and the United Kingdom.
Wow.
Since the initial launch in the program, it has gone from mailing just a few dozen books to nearly 40 million books have been mailed. Wow. And currently, over 1,600 local communities provide Imagination Library to 7 61,659 children around the world. In North Dakota, nearly 14,000 books are mailed each and every month, and I think that is just fabulous.
Wow. It's amazing how one idea, one initiative, and one person can make such a big difference in getting people to really rally around the cause. And it's possible for other communities, if they don't currently have the Imagination Library, to have one for children in their area.
Absolutely. And as I have said at many presentations, I've done presentations in front of many educational conferences. If you don't knock on my door, I'll probably knock on yours.
And you really have been. When you started as the First Lady, that was in December, right, of 2010?
December of 2010.
And
right.
how many Dolly Parton Imagination Library programs existed in North Dakota?
Well, it wasn't until January or February that I really zeroed in on that was what I was going to be my first initiative. And there were 8 currently at that time, and I visited with you and with Williston and with Cass County United Way about how their programs were going. I mean, you always can learn from someone who's already done it. And I'm very proud to say that today there are 11 cities, 17 counties, and 19 school districts. So we've had a huge expansion, and we've starting to cover the state, but haven't gotten totally there. We figure we are covering that children have about 80% of the children 0 to 5 have access. That does not mean they are all signed up.
Wow. So in a few short years, you've made sure that 80% of children in North Dakota have access to books in their home and have their own little library.
Well, I don't take the credit for that. Sometimes I've just done presentations and say, run with it. You don't ever need to call me again. It's not about me. It's about the kids. And some communities have done that, which is just great. They contact the Dollywood Foundation and just go with it. And then we get notification that they've are up and running, and that's great. Sometimes I go right into the communities and we pull together a group of business people and educators and community leaders, and I give presentations to them, and we handhold them a little bit more sometimes and not all the time. The shortest time I have to say that I made a presentation was in Belfield.
Really?
And we went and gave a presentation to a community group. They had a school board meeting that night, and I think they called us the next day and said, we're on.
Very convincing. You're a very inspiring leader. And so now what does a community need to do if they don't have the Imagination Library and they want to start their own program?
Well, they can go on the Dollywood website, but they can also call my office, which is 701-328-1010. Or go to my website, firstlady@nd.gov, and make contact with us. And I am more than willing to come to a community and give a presentation.
Yeah, that's really nice because it's not that difficult, really, to be able to offer this program in your community. You do have to sponsor it, so you do need a local group or a local contact. And you've probably seen many different types of groups step forward to be that contact.
We have, and that's why I think it's good that it is a community effort, that it's not just usually a single person, although sometimes that has worked real well too. But a community has to raise the money, and that's probably the biggest hurdle. And in some communities I've made presentations, they have another literacy program that they are currently liking and are choosing to do that rather than Imagination Library.
And so it could be a church group, it could be a Rotary Club, it could be a school. You had said there was a school
city
board.
library.
Or the library.
Yeah, there can be a lot of entities. It's important that one of the entities or a member of the group be a 501c3. And the only reason for that is they get cheaper postal rates. And that's why it's been very nice with Missouri Slope United Way. You have reached out to communities around your area and have offered to be their fiscal agent, and I think that's very appreciated.
Yeah, and it's easy for us because the books, Amber, you've done this quite a bit. On our end, it's not that taxing to do the administrative responsibilities for the program.
No, it really isn't. I mean, once a month we go through the books and see if they got returned. Maybe someone just recently changed their address or moved out of town, and we then just contact them and just say, hey, your book is in at our office, please feel free to drop it off. And, United Way is lucky. We have volunteers that come into our office on that monthly basis, go and approve new website or address changes, go through our books. And it's just a really fun program for volunteers to get involved in.
And it's nice, too, because parents oftentimes will sponsor their children. Mm-hmm. And so if a community isn't sure how to, really fundraise, or they're not accustomed to that, sometimes you have the schools kicked in, too, in certain districts?
If they have some discretionary funding, yes, they have, or the PTAs or the teacher unions group have done that. Just to back up a little bit, I think there are several things that a community has to do. They have to find the 501c3. They have to raise the money, but they also have to promote the program. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have to do the PR and do a kickoff event. I've also offered to come to any kickoff event. I'll almost do anything, but I won't do dunk tanks. So I am available to come back for that, and we have done that, and that's been a lot of fun. So they have to raise the money, 501c3, do the PR, and quite often do the initial inputting. You can do it online if your community signs up for that program, but it takes less than a minute to sign up a child. It's just very basic information.
And we have to say that if people locally want to sign up their child, they can go to our website at msaunitedway.org and click on the Dolly Parton logo, and you can sign your child up right away. And there's many other communities, too, that go directly to the Imagination Library website.
And that's actually how, if the audience is wondering if you have it in your community or not, is you can go to the Dollywood or the Imagination Library website and click on North Dakota and then find the cities or zip codes that are covered. And if they aren't covered, call my office and we'll try to come to your community and help you set it up.
And that would be 701-328-1010. Is that right?
That's right.
And so now we did some quick math here. So for the local United Way located in Bismarck, for our region, we currently have, 3,397 kids that are receiving books every single month. Is that right, Amber?
That is correct. I mean, and it fluctuates every day. We're getting new people signing up on a daily basis, and it's just exciting to watch this program grow and to watch the people support the program as well.
Absolutely, and we're looking for volunteers that are going to be targeting some of our high poverty neighborhoods. We found out, you might be very surprised, I was very surprised, 2 years ago, in Bismarck, Mandan, our high poverty elementary schools, 40% of those kids were not reading at proficiency level. I was just shocked at that. And so how can we get kids prepared sooner in life to be successful?
Well, and one way is through the Imagination Library. If you get books into the household, it's a very important thing that parents take time out to read to your children. As they get older, you can, I think someone mentioned the public libraries, and that's great too. And the public library here in Bismarck has a terrific children's program.
They're a great partner of ours. They always are promoting the Imagination Library because they want kids to develop that love for learning at such a young age.
There's one statistic, Jena, that I thought I'd share with you that I came across just recently, is that the study talks about the language development of young children. And the University of Kansas recently released a study stating that some children can hear up to 35 million less words by the time they're 4 years old.
Wow.
Depending on their household.
No kidding.
We all need to talk more.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
It is.
And then,
it is. But one good way to do that is to read aloud and read often.
And who chooses the books that these kids receive?
Well, that's a very good question. Dolly, the Imagination Library, has a team of experts who chooses their books. And they're age appropriate, content appropriate, I think terrific books. And you can see a variety of them. If you really want to come see some, I know you have a little bit of a supply at your office.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And then if we get books returned to us that are undeliverable, we donate them back out, which is really nice. Right. And I know the other United Ways do that as well. So what is your favorite Imagination Library book?
Well, the first book they ever get is The Little Engine That Could.
Oh, that's got to be everyone's favorite,
I think that's a longtime favorite that And the last book they get when they're age 5 is Look Out Kindergarten, Here I Come.
Oh,
perfect fit.
That is perfect. So, okay, 80% are covered. What would it take to get the entire state enrolled in this book?
Well, when we come back from our break, we'll get into that conversation.
Everyone keep listening. We are so excited. Thank you so much to the First Lady, Betsy Dalrymple, for all of your work in expanding this program from 8 programs to almost 80% of our state. The Dolly Parton Imagination Library, you can go online to msaunitedway.org. We will be back in just a couple minutes to United Way's Community Talk on Super Talk 1270.
Right now, it's 72.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
Welcome back to United Way's Community Talk. I am Jena Gullo, your host for today, and co-hosting with me is Ms. Amber Jensen from the Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way.
Yes, I am trying to co-host. We're getting there.
It's hard to get a word in edgewise with me. Is that what you're saying, Amber?
Not at all. Not at all,
boss. Not at all. Hefe. We just had First Lady Betsy Dalrymple in. What a
amazing
what a
lady.
woman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, she really lives, the message that she preaches, and she's so personal and down to earth. I really respect both her and the governor so much, and all they do for all of us here at every age level. But one of her statewide initiatives is the Dolly Parton Imagination Library.
Yeah, and starting with 8 programs to where we're at now with having 80% of the state covered is just amazing. And in just a few short years and making the program grow that much is pretty awesome.
So for those of you just tuning in, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library program sends a book into the homes of children age 0 to 5 every single month. Every month they get a surprise in the mail.
Yeah, and you hear from a lot of the kids that, Llama Llama, Red Pajamas, their favorite book. And so the books that they get in the mail are top-notch and hard to find in the bookstores now.
Yeah, and they all have a really good positive message as well. And they're teaching books.
Yep.
They're entertaining, but they're also a teaching opportunity and, an opportunity for parents to spend quality time with their children. It's really making our children more prepared, better prepared for kindergarten, and also getting them excited to learn to read and to love to learn. And so we currently need to become statewide. Let's all rally around and help with this initiative. We need to cover 8,533 children. In a big state, that's not that bad.
No, it's not.
That's 80% of our kids are receiving these books. So that would take 214,000 for sponsorship. If every community just rallied together, it takes partnerships, it takes good volunteers, it takes loving parents. We can do this. I really think we can.
I agree. And just when we look at our region that we have to cover, we're really working to make sure everyone in our region is getting those books. And so if everybody can just take a small chunk of those 8,000, I think it will be easy to reach that goal.
It would. And so in our Missouri Slope Area-Wide United Way region, we cover 10 counties. So it's Burley, Emmons, Grant, Kidder, McLean, Morton, Oliver, Sheridan, and Standing Rock. And so most of those counties are either currently covered. So if you have a child or a grandchild living in one of those areas, call us up. If you have questions how to enroll your child, or if you want your small community to sponsor this program, we'll help you. Or, you had the invitation from the First Lady. She said call her office or email her. She's at 328-1010. So it's really, really exciting. But we live on good people and volunteers and good leadership at our United Way. And so that's why it just works out perfectly that Ms. Kris Kleinjan, am I saying your name right?
Pretty darn close.
How do I say it?
Kleinjan.
Kleinjan. Darn it all. Darn it. Bad information. Well, because I always just call you Beautiful Kris.
Oh,
so I
thank
thought maybe
you.
that was your first and last name. I wasn't really positive about that. But Kris, you are just a superstar volunteer. And so
thank
is
you.
your cohort in crime, Mr. Terry Kraft at American Family Insurance. You just
Yes.
had a fantastic event, which you've been doing for a number of years for our United Way. Tell us about it.
We just wrapped up, I believe, the 17th annual American Family Charity Golf Tournament with proceeds going to, of course, our local United Way.
So you and Terry started this when you were in high school?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's a fun fact.
I wish I could take credit for all of that. 14 years of those have been mine.
Wow, that's just fantastic. And he does it with the other American Family Insurance agents as well.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate it. And that takes a lot of time and a lot of work to coordinate.
It does, but it's a lot of fun to do. And the benefit to us, to the community, to everybody that works with us and gets to play a round of golf is fantastic. So we're happy to do it.
And on behalf of the insurance agents and the family at American Family Insurance, you are dropping off a check to us today. And what is the amount that you raised again this year?
$6,000.
Wow, that is fantastic. And 100% of that stays right here in the Bismarck-Mandan community.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. Thank you, Kris, for all of your time.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure.
So a year or two ago, we finagled you into helping us out again with another project we do every year.
You are very persuasive, Jena.
Well, we appreciate your help because you've become, and we have a lot of great team captains, don't get me wrong, but you really, in a short period of time, became one of our all-star team captains for Day of Caring. So first of all, thank you for that.
Thank you.
And for our listeners out there, what is Day of Caring?
Day of Caring is an opportunity for those of us, oftentimes who work at desk jobs, to get out into the community and help those in need, whether it be neighbors in need, whether it be nonprofits who could use our assistance. It's just a fabulous day for us to get out and about, show the community that we care, that we support them, and that we're trying to build a greater rapport with them.
Wow. And so what does it mean when you're a team captain?
Well, gee, it means I get to boss people around, tell them what to do. What more could I ask
You were a
for?
perfect fit. Now you know why I asked you. No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely.
So, no, really, because we do need some more team captains because we have projects coming on board all the time and we always need additional help. And we can't do our work without really strong leaders that are helping us to get it done. And so what does it mean? What are your responsibilities as a team captain?
What I have done in the past is be a liaison between the site coordinator for a particular project. In my experience, that has been our Dakota Zoo and the Dakota Foundation, both fabulous nonprofits that we
Absolutely.
are happy to be able to assist with. So I've worked with their people and made sure that we have the volunteers, the products, the safety equipment, the warm bodies that we need in order to accomplish the projects that they have submitted for the year.
And so you've done it 2 years in a row now?
I took a break last year because our golf tournament was the same time.
Oh, darn it.
So-
yeah. And so what I'm wondering, though, I vaguely remember going to the Dakota Zoo because that day we try to visit each of the 50 projects that we have. And was that the year that you were in charge of removing the sandbags after the flood?
Yes.
Oh, you actually came back. I can't believe it. That was the hardest volunteer job I think we've ever had.
It was incredibly difficult. Thousands upon thousands of sandbags to be emptied and removed. But we had 65 fabulous people out there. We had wonderful sponsors, my own boss, Terry Kraft, and K2 engineers who both helped provide lunch, snacks, waters, which was great since I believe it was close to 100 degrees that day.
Yeah, it was.
And we managed to not only do the sandbag project, but we managed to help with some other things that Dakota Zoo was in need of assistance with that day as well.
That's just amazing. And think of all of the money that you saved the Dakota Zoo to, on that cleanup
Right.
That's
So they can
unbelievable.
spend the money they receive from donors on something more important for their clients, something for the animals, something for the kids that visit, rather than manual labor that those of us with maybe not too much skill in the zoo area, but lots of ability to get out and help in the community can be a part of that day.
Absolutely. And your gift of time and hard work benefited everyone in the community. That is just phenomenal. Thank you so much, Kris. So when we first asked you to become a team captain, what were you thinking?
I was thinking, how do I get out of doing this? No, I was thinking, what a fantastic opportunity to be a part of the community. The community needs our support, needs individuals to get out there, help with projects, be a part of what's going on, and not wait for somebody else to hop in front of them. Get out there, get going, and help.
You know, and when we look at getting team captains, is exactly what you just said. Those that can lead and that want to get involved. It's a great opportunity for new people in a company that want to take on a leadership role because, like you said, you're leading volunteers, you're setting a good example, and at the end of the day, what's becoming and what's resulting of that effort is truly amazing when you get that many volunteers together for one day to make, that impact. It's just amazing, and I know you've probably felt the same.
It is. It's wonderful. We've had retirees. We've had people whose businesses have allowed them to have that day to help others. We've had the Demonettes, fabulous girls, hard workers. We've had soccer teams, teenagers. Everybody gets involved. They all have an ability. And as a group, we have made incredible things happen.
Are you still looking for volunteers for your current project, or are you full right now?
We are full.
Fantastic. Which project are you leading?
We are working this year on Papa's Pumpkin Patch.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
Usually have a lot of Basin Electric employees. I know the Demonettes were out there one year.
Yes.
And
my co-captain, Christy Dirksen, works for Basin.
Yeah.
And so she and I are heading up, working on a bunch of projects to get that all set for clients in the fall.
well, Kris Kleinjan. Did I say that good?
Yes.
From the American Family Insurance. Thank you for the time, for the leadership, and for your heart, for sharing it with all of us in our community. Join us on August 13th. We do need more volunteers where we're going to be working with 1,000 plus community-minded individuals, and so we'll be working on 50 plus projects. So go to volunteerbizman.com to view and register for a project. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. United Way's Community Talk.
Right now it's 72.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
Welcome back to United Way's Community Talk. A special thank you to Town Square Media and Jim. Thank you, Jim, for helping us out here every other week on Super Talk 1270. They donate this airtime to our community. We appreciate them so much. So if you want to talk on air, let us know. We are really open to important community topics. We've had all sorts of leaders, United Way agencies, great volunteers, high school youth. We've had a lot of really good guests. It's really exciting. We're able to just highlight important things in the community and also to increase awareness. We had the First Lady of North Dakota, Betsy Dalrymple, on earlier today. What a woman.
Yeah, she is one remarkable lady, and what she's done for the state of North Dakota is just remarkable.
Yeah, it really is. She started to promote the Dolly Parton Imagination Library so that children throughout the state will receive a free book in the mail every single month. It's only $25 per child. So if your community is out there and you don't currently offer this to children in your area, please contact us at msaunitedway.org. Go on to Facebook at Facebook.com/MSAUway. Is that right?
That is correct.
If you're Twitter,
Which I'm not.
which I'm not either. What about you, Kris?
Nope, so sorry.
Not tweeting over here. But the youngins
That's
out in the
right.
crowd, who want to tweet us, we do have a Twitter account. And really just call the First Lady of North Dakota. How many opportunities do people have to be able to just dial up their First Lady of their state and say, can you help us? And she will respond. I swear she is just so responsive and so on the ball. Her number is 328-1010. Mm-hmm. So we want to get this program available to everyone in North Dakota. So, Kris, we have Kris Kleinjan from the American Family Insurance Office joining us. Thanks, Kris, for being here.
Absolutely. Good morning.
Good morning. So, Kris, you guys are starting to gear up for your workplace campaign. That's how United Way raises 65% of our campaign dollars every year. And your boss, or, well, he probably calls you the boss in the office.
Sometimes.
But your boss is our past president of our United Way Board of Directors.
Yes. So obviously supporting the United Way is very important to us and to our office, not just because the boss has been a part of it, but because he has shown us how important you are to the community.
Well, it's really neat because the dollars you give through your workplace campaign go directly back into the community in which you live. And they help everyone. They help the young, the old, the poor, they help our community thrive so that we create a really healthy and better community for everyone. A lot of our programs, people might not realize they're very proactive, like the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and they're also preventing homelessness. They're ensuring that the elderly can stay in their homes for as long as they can and remain independent through Meals on Wheels or Senior Companion Program. And so it's the full gamut. We do daycare for children who have developmental disabilities, which is a big need. I mean, that is so limited in our community. So what is it about United Way, Kris? Why are you a donor, a volunteer, and a supporter in your workplace?
Because, in part, the funds stay here in our community because you have been fabulously successful at starting the programs, at continuing the programs, supporting the programs, bringing a greater rapport between businesses and individuals, helping neighbors in need, helping the nonprofits. All of that's important to us.
Well, and it's interesting, too, that our perspective is that we're only as strong as our volunteers and partnerships. So if it isn't for the business community and the nonprofit sector and our government leaders, coming together, we're really not going to solve a lot of these problems on our own. We're only as strong as the people that work together and want to collaborate in a smarter and more efficient way.
And we're lucky that we live in the Bismarck-Mandan area because we have those people.
Absolutely. And people want to help. That's the neatest thing about our area.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so when you went about getting your workplace campaign started, you have Jena come speak. Or what are some other ideas that you could give to other businesses that could maybe start this campaign? Whether it be, have a taco in a bag, or it's not always giving $1 a paycheck.
Well, I think food draws people.
Yes.
Isn't that funny? Or Jeans Day.
Yes.
People who aren't normally allowed to wear jeans, they might chip in $1 or $2 to be able to wear jeans on Friday or something like that. And I remember, Kris, you guys treated us. You had a nice little breakfast. We had a team meeting. Do you remember that?
Absolutely. We enjoy having you there. Always a pleasure.
And it's nice because Ginny and Tyler, you're all just really wonderful people that are very caring at Mr. Kraft's office.
We do. We have a fantastic team. I wouldn't change it for the world.
So I don't know if you really believed Terry when he told you I have a United Way meeting, but last year as president, he went and he substituted for me. If I had a conflict for a speaking engagement, we would send Terry Kraft.
That's good.
To go and speak to, large groups, small groups, one-on-one meetings.
You chose
He did it
well.
all. I don't know how he made the time, but he did it all.
He has the ability to fit numerous things into his day, and he does them all well.
Isn't that great? So, Amber, what do we have going on at United Way that people, if they're listening and they're interested in really giving back to the community, what are some ways that they can give back?
Well, coming up, I know we already talked about Day of Caring. Again, that's August 13th. We'll do our kickoff at 7:30 at Century High School.
And that's open to the community.
Yep. Anybody can come out, grab some breakfast, listen to Jena and the rest of the board members and our campaign cabinet members talk about the upcoming campaign, which starts August 13th.
Which Mr. Verndosh, the CEO of NISC in Mandan, and Monsignor Shea of the University of Mary, and Mr. Paul Sukit from Basin Electric, they're all co-chairing our campaign, and they've developed this extremely strong and bright group of leaders from a cross-sector. You have Dr. Shiraz Hyder. You have Morgan Fornes from Shiloh Christian Academy. I mean, so many wonderful, wonderful people that are coming together to help us raise a lofty goal, a 19% increase to get us to $2.5 million.
Yeah, and I got confirmation that all three of them will be there. And so if you want to listen to them all speak, August 13th, 7:30 at Century High School, we'll be kicking off our campaign.
And so when we were talking about workplace campaigns, for someone who might not know, give us a brief rundown of what a campaign entails.
A lot of people, when they call our office, Jena will come in and speak. And so if you want Jena to come in, we can bring also an agency member from our Speakers Bureau along with us, just to give you a good idea of what United Way is all about and what we do for the Bismarck-Mandan community in our 10 counties. And so call our office, 255-3601. We have an employee campaign manager if they want to help run that campaign for, say, American Family Assurance. We have our next employee campaign manager training is August 27th at the library from 9 to 1. And so if you really don't know what it's all about and what is United Way, call our office, attend that training. It will really give you a good idea of what United Way is about, what events we have, what ideas you can use to fundraise in your business.
Well, and don't forget, we have our United Way Endowment Fund. And so folks get a very generous tax credit for North Dakota state tax. And so you can give a gift of $2,000, or you can give a gift of about $5,000. It has the same out-of-pocket costs. So if you're able to afford a generous gift, there are some wonderful tax credits available for individuals, businesses, and couples giving to our endowment fund. So please go online to msaunitedway.org, because our goal is to get that fund large enough so that every year our campaign goes directly back into the community. What else is going on for Day of Caring?
So we have 523 volunteers. We're about halfway to our goal of 1,000. We have 50 projects. We still have some big projects out there that we're looking for volunteers. We're going to be building some handicap ramps. We're going to be back at the Dakota Zoo mending some fences. We're going to be working on some group homes. And so there are projects for everybody.
How do people sign up?
Go to volunteerbizman.com and you can view all the projects and the number of volunteers needed.
But Amber, you're also getting volunteers for a fun activity coming up.
Yeah, we have
fall?
our first time ever, our paintball open fun day at Three Brothers Paintball. That will be on September 13th. And so I know they've had some, great crowds out there for open days. And so we'll hope you'll go back out to Three Brothers Paintball September 13th and support United Way, because those are the proceeds will be going that day.
How much fun. We always need people in our office. We always want to reduce costs for our partner agencies. And right now we are looking for readers, tutors, and mentors to place with some of our at-risk children in our high-poverty elementary schools in Bismarck-Mandan. So if you have a half an hour to go and have lunch or go and help out in the classroom, call United Way. We are as strong as our partnerships and our volunteers. We thank the First Lady, Ms. Betsy Dalrymple. We thank Kris Kleinjan from American Family Insurance for being our guest today. And we thank our community gearing up for our campaign. Meet us August 13th, 7:30 in the morning, Century High School. My name is Jena Gullo, co-hosting with Ms. Amber Jensen, both from the United Way. Thank you to Super Talk 1270. We'll be back in 2 weeks.